Diablo 4 has gone gold, Monster Hunter is going Pokemon, and Quidditch Champions, the game that Hogwarts Legacy didn't want to give us. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest gaming news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Tuesday, April 18th. And we're going to start off today talking about Diablo 4 going gold, which means that it's ready to be shipped out as a complete game. This is coming from Blizzard, saying that going gold is a landmark milestone for the incredible Diablo 4 team, who have all worked so hard crafting the next generation installment of this iconic franchise. The game should be launching on June 6th, but there are also some details coming out with regards to the performance you can expect if you're on console. This is especially notable after a game like Redfall announced that it would not get a 60 FPS mode on the Xbox whatsoever. It would only run at 30 FPS with 60 FPS coming later, but Diablo 4 is saying that 4K 60 FPS will be achievable on the Series X and that 1080p 60 will be available on the Series S. So it is going to be at least up to a higher frame rate, but there are also some reports coming out that you're not going to get the overlay map that a lot of people were asking for with the beta. With one of the devs saying that there are no plans at the moment to add the overlay map to the game, that's led to mixed reactions of people saying that this was a staple in previous Diablo franchise games and they want to have this added back in 4. Other people saying that this is a new experience, you should get used to it. I want to hear from you if you've played the beta. Do you think you need the overlay map? Let me know down below in the comments. But while Diablo 4 is going gold, Suicide Squad is getting delayed, getting pushed back from its anticipated May launch all the way to February 2024, which is after a further delay from 2022. This is expected, especially after the unpolished gameplay that a lot of people did not enjoy when it was shown off, and it seems like a lot of people are actually happy for this delay because it'll give Rocksteady about 9 months to go ahead and polish up the game, which Rovio's had a ton of time to polish up its business plan with it getting acquired by Sega, with it being announced that the Angry Birds producer is going to get acquired for $775 million. This is a little lower than the originally anticipated $1 billion price tag, but I honestly am just shocked that this has not happened already, especially with all of the major acquisitions that have been taking place with game companies like Microsoft and PlayStation. To see that it took this long for Angry Birds to get acquired by somebody seems a little late, but Sega saying that it's part of their plan to grow to 56% of the overall gaming market by 2026, and that Rovio's distinctive know-how in live service mobile games operation to bring Sega's current and new titles to the global mobile gaming market where there is large potential and many users can be accessed. So get ready for Sonic to go fast and angry at the same time, and get ready for a new Stardew Valley patch, which should hopefully update a few things, including lines of dialogue in the game, with Concerned Ape saying there's new game content that's a little bit less than 1.5, but there's going to be a focus on new dialogue as well as the ability to mod the game, especially as he takes a break from Haunted Chocolatier in order to work on this. There's no release date for this new patch, but it'd be the first one since December of 2020. And Valheim is also getting some updates to change the difficulty modes and to give you different playability options. There's going to be a hardcore mode, a chill mode, a creative mode that should potentially open up the gameplay style of Valheim. Let me know if you're going to enjoy that down below. And Monster Hunter expecting that you're going to enjoy the AR world of a Pokemon Go-esque video game, because Monster Hunter now getting announced being made by Niantic themselves, which will be a real-world augmented reality game, with Niantic saying that they've worked closely with Capcom to respect the legacy of Monster Hunter while creating a great experience for new players. You're going to have big monster battles that you can see, with them releasing this teaser trailer short, which makes a lot of sense because it's going to be on a phone, so they released it as a short instead of a full video. Let me know if Monster Hunter now intrigues you down below in the comments. On top of that, Knuckles also getting announced is going to be a live-action TV show that's going to be debuting over on Paramount Plus, with the same director who was responsible for Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 going to be the director of this Knuckles TV show, and it's also anticipated that Idris Elba is going to reprise his role as Knuckles as the voice actor in this show. But now let's stop talking about good things. Let's start talking about bad things, and that is Nintendo continuing to take people down. We talked about in a short right up there about the multiplayer Breath of the Wild mod that Nintendo has gone after a YouTuber for, and now Nintendo's going after a ROM site for damages. It being announced that the ROM site D-Storage is going to have to pay upwards of 500,000 euro for illegally distributing Nintendo's copyrights, with 442,000 of that being damages and 25,000 euro being the legal fees that it has to pay. This is on top of other ROM sites that have had to do damage payments to Nintendo, like Love ROMs, which had to pay 12 million, ROM Universe paying 2.1, and Nintendo continuing to use their lawyers to make sure that they have a stranglehold on their games, on their industry, on their content creators, and making sure that nobody steps out of line, which I'm just personally not a fan of. I've been personally affected by that, not for even touching launching their video games, but just modifying the Switch with Android was enough for them to take down our YouTube channel, and I'm still a little bothered by that. But Nintendo not bothered at all, because they're going to have their next Indie World live stream tomorrow, which you can check out at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. A lot of people are hoping that potentially Silksong will be shown off at this finally. There's going to be roughly 20 minutes of reveals, announcements, etc. for the Nintendo Switch. Let me know what you're expecting from the Indie World down below in those comments. But let's talk about a AAA game like Halo, because a lot of stuff's changing in the Halo world. The former Halo creative director has announced that he's going to be joining Netflix to produce AAA multi-platform games and original IP. Joseph Staten was the creative director of Halo Infinite, and also being announced that Frank O'Connor is also leaving 343 Industries, no longer going to be part of the Halo series, which he's been around for the last 20 years. It's not been announced what he's going to be moving on to, but it does look like Halo and everything that's going on over at Microsoft for that franchise has been changing quite a bit. And that's also what's happening in the gaming sales industry, with it being reported that, at least in Europe, game sales are down 11% right now in Q1 of 2023, with only 39 million games being sold in the European market across both physical and digital, with Hogwarts Legacy being the biggest game of the quarter and Resident Evil 4 being the biggest game of March. But even though game sales might particularly be down, console sales are way up, with 67% increase being driven by the PlayStation 5 selling a lot more in the European market, especially as Sony has committed to make sure that those are available no matter what. But I'm curious, are you buying fewer games this year so far through Q1? Obviously, we don't have major hits like Elden Ring coming out, but Hogwarts Legacy did seem to be a pretty big game. Let me know. Fewer games, same amount of games, you're waiting for something else to come out later this year? I want to hear from you down below in the comments. And Xbox has heard that their new UI that they tried to bring out to the Series S and X is no longer gonna work, because it was shown that they were trying to do a new home UI for the Xbox, and there was a lot of complaints that it was just not as good. It made it a lot more convoluted. There was things in the background that shouldn't have been there. It highlighted things that shouldn't have been highlighted. And in the latest Xbox Insider news, they're saying that they've heard the feedback and they're going to be continuing to develop that and hopefully make it a little bit better, but they're not going to be rolling it out to everyone just yet. But what is rolling out to everyone is the game that Avalanche told us that we couldn't get in Hogwarts Legacy, and that was Quidditch. It just seemed like it was absent from the video game. There were a few parts where you're working with the Quidditch teacher. It was strange that it wasn't actually physically in the game, and now we likely know why, because Harry Potter Quidditch Champions has been announced by Warner Brothers. You can see that there's a dedicated Quidditch game that is coming out. There is a website for you to go ahead and sign up in case you want to do a playtest starting this Friday, April 21st, in case you want to participate in this. Quidditch Champions is being developed by Unbroken Studios, who's also participating in the development of the Suicide Squad game, but this could help to explain why it was just completely absent from Hogwarts Legacy. Warner Brothers might have told Avalanche, just don't even focus on it. We're going to have these developed simultaneously, and then we'll launch them roughly around the same time span. Let me know if you prefer a standalone Quidditch game. Would you have preferred it roped into Hogwarts Legacy? I want to hear from you down below in the comments about everything that you thought we talked about here on Hot News with all of the gaming news. I'll be back for more of the hottest gaming news tomorrow, my friends. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if we're doing daily videos.